Hello, all you gorgeous creatures out there. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. It's a good day to be alive. I feel blessed. I woke up with air in my lungs. I'm celebrating life today. I hope you are too. It's also Friday. I'm feeling a little samba for the weekend coming on. Gonna have my glass of wine. I got a good show coming up tonight, so I'm pretty excited. And we're gonna talk about the honeymoon phase of relationships. So I hear all the time people saying, well, once the honeymoon phase is over, that will pass. And I'm sorry, I just do not agree with that whatsoever. So let's dive right in. I notice a lot of couples making these mistakes in their relationship. And also because I'm a solutions person, I want to know how I can move forward. So I try to never make a podcast or give advice unless I have a solution for that thing. Letting the passion fall away from your relationship, or, when people say, oh, well, the honeymoon phase, it only lasts for a year and then reality sets in. I'm sorry, whose reality are we talking about? Because that's not my reality. So you always hear the saying, happy wife, happy life. I actually disagree with that at the risk of being, tomatoed and having pies and lettuce thrown in my face by my gender. I think it's the other way around. I think it's actually happy husband, happy life. And hear me out. Okay, before you sharpen your pitchforks, the world is very hard on men. Men have a higher suicide rate. Men are incarcerated at an exorbitant rate compared to women, and men have harder jobs, typically. Over 90% of all the most difficult, dangerous jobs in the world, they are done by men. They aren't thanked for all the things that they do, all the beautiful masculine energy that they provide, the protection energy, the big brother energy, the father energy, the loving male energy, the friend energy. They are not celebrated in our culture and definitely not in America. For instance, men rarely get compliments, even in relationships. Like, guys, be honest, when was the last time someone told you that you were handsome? I mean, if you're in a relationship, like, how often do you feel complimented? Because I know as women, we go out into the world and we compliment each other. Like, women are already sisters. Like, when I see other women out in public, I'm like, yes, girl, slay, girl. And women do that to me all the time too. Like heels, hair, hips, nails. Women, we love to celebrate each other. Men don't have that, unfortunately, and I think that should change, and it starts with us ladies. My sisters out there, why is it, we have mother energy, we take care of everybody, we know that we need to nurture everybody, like, why don't we nurture our men better? And I'm not talking about like false praise or putting them on a pedestal and bowing down at the altar. I'm talking about genuine expression of gratitude for the men in our lives. So how to keep the honeymoon phase alive? Well, I think it's really easy. My first rule is that honey gets more than vinegar. My mom taught me that. She always said that. I heard it a million times growing up. And one of the biggest mistakes I see women making in their relationship is nagging and henpecking. Their partner comes home and they're like, you know what? I'm sick of you leaving the toilet seat up and you left your socks laying around on the floor again. So my solution for this, I always try to do everything with honey, with sweetness and laughter. Like, humor is the best medicine and it goes such a long way. And if you're going to be married or stuck with this person for the next, God willing, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, that's going to be a long life. If every time he does something that you don't see eye to eye with, you're going to and turn into a dragon, that's not sustainable. He's going to resent you. He's not going to want to listen to you. That's for damn sure. And it's going to cause friction in your relationship. And not only that, for us women, we have to learn how to pick our battles better, because when we are engaged in conflict, it raises our cortisol levels, and it takes 7 hours, they say, to calm down from being angry. And not only that, when we raise our cortisol levels, it makes us gain weight. That's the stress hormone, and it puts lower belly fat on women. And I'll be damned if I'm going to get fat because this mother can't pick up his freaking socks. So for me, I try to infuse humor in everything that happens in my relationship. And my fiance will tell you this. Like, for example, whenever he says bonehead things, which guys will continue to do till the end of time. I have the best guy ever. He's amazing. We are so in love. But he says bonehead, arrogant things often, okay? And I could get mad. I could yell at him. I could fly off the handle and, break out the claws, but I would rather laugh it off. And so would he. Instead of getting mad at him, I just go, choke yourself. And he just goes and happily put his throat in my hand. And we giggle about it. And guys, they blurt things a lot of the times before they have time to think about it. Like their brain needs to catch up with their mouth, right? I'm saving myself the energy of having to be angry and resentful. I'm letting him know in a funny, playful way, like, you're about to cross the line, dude. You better watch it. You are on thin ice, Buster. And he laughs, we giggle, and then that's it, and we move on. So little things like that where you can choose playfulness rather than nagging him to death. I see so many women nag their husbands, and I can just see the guy inside like dying slowly. I feel for this poor bastard. Like, he doesn't deserve that. And listen, ladies, if you're going to nag your husband and nitpick him for all the stuff he does wrong, you better celebrate him for the million things he probably gets right. Guys are just doing the best that they can. If you're pissed off about something, I guarantee you he's probably oblivious. They don't think about things the way that women do. Ladies, we have 10 million emotions that we are cycling through all the time. Our feelings, our thoughts, our emotions. Guys don't think like us. I don't want them to. I want them to be men. I want beautiful protection, masculine energy. I love that he can fall asleep in 30 seconds and not lay there all night over analyzing every single detail. I love that he's not like me. I want him to be a man. We need our men to be protectors. Our men have to be able to defend their family, to provide. Men go out into the world all day long. They get rejected by society. That's why whenever I'm out in public and I see strangers, it doesn't matter if it's man, woman, child, puppy, grandma, grandpa, try to say something kind to everybody I meet if I have the opportunity and it's not awkward. But if I see someone passing by, oh my God, hi, I love your dog. I love your shoes. Wow, you look beautiful today. I love your haircut. If it's a guy who comes up and talks to me, I'm, hey, handsome. If it's a woman who comes up, hi, beautiful. Hi, gorgeous. Like, it costs you nothing to say something sweet to people. People love hearing sweet things, particularly men, because they never get told that they're handsome. Men don't get celebrated. They have thankless jobs. My dad just retired, and he has a grueling job his whole life, a dangerous job. He's the superintendent of a large construction outfit out of Chicago. And my dad got up every day for 30 years, maybe more, at 3:30 in the morning, packed his lunch, drove in the winter, summer, fall, didn't matter, drove, and he was the guy that was there like 2 hours before the job started on the job site just to like survey and assess things. Like, no, I guarantee you, not only did the company not thank my dad when he retired, he didn't even get a card. Like 35 years with the company, he didn't even get a card. I guarantee you, none of my family members have even thanked him. Like, hey, Dad, thank you so much for working. Thank you for supporting me. I guarantee nobody thanks the men in their lives enough, and they add up. Like, ladies, gas your man up. Guys, you can do this too. But I think as women, it's so much easier for us to initiate that because we notice everything. Like, women are constantly scanning for information. We are always picking up intuitively. We basically have like nonstop sonar. Boop, 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 boop. And that's why sometimes, guys, I know you know what I'm talking about here. Like, your woman can all of a sudden walk into a room and be like, I just think it's funny, and bring up something that happened like 8 years ago, because we are always scanning the information. You'll never get away with lying to us. Just don't even try, because women are human lie detectors. But because we are always picking up on information, I think it's something to be aware of, to be scanning for good things. We have to retrain our brain. I did. I retrained my brain. I started when I was 20 years old. I wanted to be a more positive person and focus on things that were beautiful in life and focus on the gratitude instead of focusing on things that I was resentful for. I tended to be negative when I was younger. I was negative. I was very angry, very angsty teenager. And I didn't want to feel that way anymore. So I retrained my brain. And part of the benefit of doing all that internal work on myself and healing work is that my man now gets the best version of me. And I am able to pick out all the wonderful things that he does. And I tell him, ladies, your man needs to know that you have his back. And I promise you, once you start gassing him up and giving him these boosts of endorphins, with confidence, he is going to show up in ways that you never dreamed of. Gas your man up. It doesn't take much. Like, tell him that he has the biggest swinging dick in all the land and watch your man's confidence change. Like, baby, I love you. I'm so lucky that you're my man. And watch if he doesn't walk with a little extra pep in his step, because all guys need to hear that. Like, I'm so grateful for how much you provide for us. I'm so lucky to have you in my life. And like, I do these little things for my man all the time, and he takes care of me in so many other ways. I lift him up. He comes back and is able to give me all that beautiful energy too, and all that love. And I believe that it starts with the women. Happy husband, happy life. It's really hard to be in a relationship with somebody who is just nagging the shit out of you all the time. And what you're going to see is eventually a neutered man, because men rarely ever leave their wives, even when it's really bad. And I know men who are in abusive relationships, toxic relationships, where the man is just a good guy and he'll usually stay for the kids. But you can see that, like, that man is just walks with his head down, heavy head. This poor bastard's just castrated. Women, you have the power to heal or to inflict damage in your relationship. And we are assuming that you have a good, healthy relationship. I'm not talking about anything else. For intents and purposes of this video, we're assuming that this is a good relationship with a good man, okay? There is no mystery about what it takes to make a man happy. Like, we are the mystery, ladies. We are the confusing ones. We are the complex, complicated ones. Men are not complicated, okay? Make them something to eat. Give them a cocktail when they walk in the door. Unzip his pants. That's it, okay? I'm old-fashioned. Go back to the basics. Men do so many inconvenient things for us. They do all these crazy chores, like fix the roof and repave the driveway and check the cars for oil and take out the garbage, you know, bust your ass and bring home a paycheck and take care of our family and protect us and stuff. I just thought that you deserve more blowjobs for all of your efforts. Like, that man is going to do whatever you need. Watch if he doesn't whistle while he works. Like he will never forget that. I mean, and that sets the tone for a beautiful relationship. I know women who have gotten divorced because they said that their man stopped showing up emotionally for them. But ladies, you have to understand this. Men don't know how to show up and be vulnerable for you. They don't express feelings that way. But the way to get to your man's feelings is through sex. When a man connects with you in the frequency of love through sex, in a committed, loving relationship, that is the space where he opens up his emotions and where he is able to drop the worries of the world, the weight of the world off of his shoulders, and he is able to be safe and vulnerable with his woman. It reinforces all of the bonding hormones in his body and reminds him that you are his mate. That is the space where he is able to drop the protector mode. He feels safe. He's not assessing threats externally. He's not thinking about work. He's able to shut the world off and be present with you during sex. This is not just a want, it is a need for him. It's how he expresses his vulnerabilities. Ladies, if you want him to show up for you emotionally, you have to make sure that you are reinforcing that bond. And I totally believe that the grass is greener wherever you water it. Think of it like when you're planting a garden, right? We don't plant flowers and then we're like, well, maybe if you give me some flowers, then I'll think about watering you. Like, that's not how a relationship works. You water your garden, it bears fruit. You enjoy the fruit, but you keep tending to it. It's no surprise to me that people's relationships fall apart, because what do you expect to happen? You've neglected it for so long. Sex isn't just something that's like, oh, men just want sex all the time. Like, no, that is the place that he feels safe enough to fully be present with you. And that's what women crave. We like presence. And I don't want a beta male. I like masculine, muscular, strong, protective energy. I want you to protect me. I want you to be the one who is aware of our surroundings and keeping us safe. I don't want to have to do that, because then I'm in fight or flight mode. And women, we're not meant to do that. We are not meant to be constantly assessing threats hormonally. It's bad for us. To be in those heightened states of cortisol release, that's bad for us. Men release testosterone when they're stressed out. They thrive on it. They thrive on war. They need to go out and be aggressive and tough and rude. And I'm okay with that. But he needs to know that when he comes home, he has a woman who's going to make sure that he is the king of the castle. And he will make you his queen too. But he can't come home and be the king if you want to be the king also. And I don't understand. Like, I've met these ball-busting, angry women who are just so hostile. And it's really sad that they operate this way. And it's deep-seated, unhealed trauma. And that's not your man's fault. He should never have to pay the price for maybe, you know, what your dad failed at or past relationships, like how other men have hurt you. Like, don't make your man pay for that stuff. Or even if your man has hurt you, let's say you guys have had some sort of problem, maybe there was infidelity early on in the relationship or something. If you decide to stay with your mate, but you still hold things over their head, you still resent them, then you need to get out of that relationship. I would say that that relationship is doomed, because I know women that do that too. And that thing you did 10 years ago, and I'm still pissed. And every day they just bash this poor guy. And there's no way out. He can't heal. You can't heal. And then it becomes toxic. And these two people continue to make each other miserable for the rest of their lives. Clear the energy. If you're going to stay with someone, you have to forgive them or let them go. Let them go for yourself and for their sake. But we're assuming that you have a decent guy who you're in a good marriage or a relationship and you want to make it work. I'm telling you, create a safe space for your man. And in the beginning, this is the time to have boundaries as well, but you can make them fun. All men, I don't care how good they are, how great, yeah, they go to church, they're good guys, whatever it is. All men will test the boundaries of a woman to make sure that she's worthy, whatever that looks like. He might try and sleep with you on the first date. He might try and sleep with you without a condom. Like, who knows? It's up to you to hold your ground, but it doesn't have to be nasty. It can be funny. Like in the beginning, my man and I were talking about, I don't know, like looking at other women, or I think it was saying other women were hot on like actresses or whatever. To me, that's a massive red flag. I do not disrespect my man by saying another man is hot. Those words will never come out of my mouth. It's super disrespectful. It creates fear in the woman. It creates instability. And a lot of guys don't understand this. And I hear people say, oh, you can look in the menu, you just can't order. Like, okay, dipshit. I only hear single loser brokies say shit like that. Or guys who have relationships that I would never want to be in. If you love your woman, you will never check out another woman. I mean, not just in her presence, but also in her absence too, because how you behave in her absence is also just as important. Ask yourself, would I want her doing this to me? How would I feel if the shoe were on the other foot? I don't look at other men because it's disrespectful to my man. And guys, you need to understand this. When you look at another woman, why she feels upset and it makes her feel crazy, it's not an act. It's legitimately she's freaking out on a cellular level. So the man's job in a relationship is to be the protector, the provider. He's the problem solver. He's the solutions person. He is the balanced male energy is Christ energy. The female energy is soft, intuitive, the mother. She has to be able to turn her survival brain off and operate on her intuition in order to be plugged into God, in order to be connected to her divine, feminine, beautiful, gorgeous muse energy. She has to be able to shut the survival mechanism off. Now, what happens is when a man looks at another woman, all of a sudden, she's freaked out. She's in survival mode now, panic mode. Like, what do you mean? I thought that we were stable. I thought I was your only one. I thought that I was the love of your life. Now, on an intrinsic level, what's happening is she no longer feels safe in her home, in her relationship. She feels like she could be blindsided. She feels like there's a potential that you could choose another mate over her, and you're letting her know, I might prefer the company of someone else over you. That's the message you're sending to your woman. That's not how a king treats his queen. It's disrespectful. It puts cracks in the foundation of your relationship. And a better way I can explain it, I think, to men where they'll understand it, because almost every man I know is a workaholic. Guys understand work more than they understand the dynamics of male-female relationships. So, guys, it's like this. You have a stable job. You think that your boss loves you. You go into work one day and all of a sudden your boss is like, shows you a resume from some attractive young candidate who might be better at your job than you are. And he lets you know. And he's like, look at these resumes I've been getting. Got my eye on that one. And all of a sudden you're like, what the hell? I thought I was safe here. I thought I had stability in my job. Now I'm panicked because I can't provide. What's going to happen to my security? Well, how am I going to survive? It creates panic. Imagine if every day you went into the office and your boss was like, yeah, I'm kind of interviewing other people for your job, but not really. But I wouldn't do that. I'm just looking. I mean, how would that make you feel? Not very stable, a little insecure, a little crazy. It would affect your mood, your job performance, your mental health, your self-esteem, your security, your belief and faith in yourself, your self-confidence. It would undermine how you value yourself. And then imagine if your boss called you crazy on top of it. If he was like, please, stage 5 clinger, it's like, you're being a little crazy here. I mean, God, kind of just want an employee who's not so insecure. It's like, do you have trust issues or something? Because guys, that sort of gaslighting and that manipulation, that's what men do to women when they check out other women and then call the woman crazy for having a very normal, appropriate response. So how I handled this in my relationship early on, because men will always test you to see what they can get away with. And they love boundaries. They're like dogs. You have to set a barrier fence. You have to set an electric fence where they will get fucking zapped if they mess with you. And don't be afraid to go DEFCON 5, because guys secretly love it when chicks get crazy, especially my guy. He thinks it's hysterical. I literally hiss at him and pretend to claw him, and he thinks it's really funny and sexy. And he's like, ooh, hey, baby, it turns him on. So, but in the beginning, I definitely was like, I will cut you. And so we were talking about this, and he's like, well, what do I do if a woman checks me out? And I was like, yeah, they better look at you. You're hot. You just can't look back. And he was like, okay. And he was super happy about that. And ever since then, that was like now 6 years ago. And we've never had an issue where I felt insecure. I've never felt like he was checking out other women. But my man is also very disciplined in every facet of his life. And so am I. I discipline myself. And it is such BS that men have higher sex drives than women. That is not true, especially when women get into their 40s and later. Guys tend to decline. Women's sexuality in their 40s goes kaboom. The libido rises, everything gets heightened. We start to feel very comfortable in our bodies. It's just a different level of self-love, and you also no longer give a flying F what people think of you, and there's something so empowering about that. So it's a time when we really own our sexuality. And this is just another reason why you don't have to let the honeymoon phase end in your relationship. You have to keep the home fires burning, you know? There's no law that says on a date with your man, you can't run into the bathroom and boop, take a little nip picture and text it to him while he's at the table. I mean, come out and watch your man. Guys love feeling like they're getting away with something like that. And keeping the relationship spicy in little cute, fun, playful, sexy ways is just another example of how you keep that romance alive. It doesn't take much. Throw them a compliment. And it is such fallacy thinking that if I give them compliments, I'm going to give them a big head and then they'll be overconfident and leave me. It is the exact opposite. Trust me. When you praise your woman or your man, all you're doing is reaffirming the bond between you two, because guess what? People love people who love them. Does that make sense? Think about it. The people we like the most are usually the people who really love us. Oh my God, you're so funny. You know what? I always did like you. Oh my gosh, you're so amazing. You make the best dinners I've ever had. You know what? You're smart, aren't you? And we tend to love people who love us, right? When my man goes out, he talks about me like I'm the queen of the universe. It's the little things, like how we speak about our mate. There's no law that says you can't be the one to make a little bit of extra effort. It doesn't matter whether you're dating, engaged. Those are the little things that we can do. Treat your man with sweetness. Men love to hear sweet things just like we do. Every night when I see my man jumping in the shower, I go, and it always surprises him a little bit, even if he didn't think I was watching. But That's how you keep the playfulness alive in the relationship. And I understand life gets in the way, and kids and work and PTA meetings and schedules, conflict and everything. But the grass is greener where you water it. Don't make the mistake of thinking that if I separate and get with somebody else, things are going to be better over there, because they're not. If you don't heal what you have in front of you, if you don't tend to your own garden, you're never going to have a fruitful garden. I see people like rinsing and repeat, like, she didn't give me what I wanted. He didn't give me what I wanted. Let's divorce and try a new partner. I just want to sniff someone new, and I'm going to just recycle and go see what else is out there. But guess what? The grass is greener where you water it. Not only that, but what we experience in the world externally is a reflection of how we feel about it internally. Like, there are scientists who have literally proven that the world is a holographic universe. We live in a holographic frequency. So what this means is that we have the ability to make commands or manifesting or, prayers in our life, and we ordain things. That's what amen means. And so it is, because I have spoken. So when we speak things into the vibrational potential of the universe, that's how they appear to us. That's how they show up for us. So if your man is lacking in passion, start saying the opposite, even though it might not be true at the time, and watch how he changes and shows up for you. And because you commanded it and you ordained it so, he will have no choice but to show up in that way for you. If my man is lacking in passion and he hasn't noticed how beautiful I am lately, I will say something like, my man always notices my efforts. My man always compliments me. I have the most loving man. I have the most beautiful relationship. I am so grateful that my man goes out of his way to do X, Y, and Z for me. And your man will have no choice but to show up like that for you. And this works in every area of our lives. You can do this with work, with your friendships, with your luck. I just simply ordain that the universe loves and is always working with me and for me. I actually learned this from a girlfriend a long time ago. We were kids. We were bartending. We were like 21 bartending, and she was a shot girl. I was a bartender. And she came up to me and she was like, people just always give me so much money. And these were like blue collar guys in Wisconsin. And they would always give her $100 tips, or she would get $1,000 tips. And she was just like a sweet, loving, like, cute girl, but like nothing crazy. Like, she didn't wear makeup. She was very natural, just nice. But she was always like, guys just love to give me money. I don't know. And they always did. And I was like, I'm doing something wrong here. And I started saying that too. And the universe started giving me so much money. And now it always does. I always have so much money. The universe always gives me money. And I started saying that about everything to just like test where I could shore up my life and test the theory. And it always does. I mean, I even say my cat, who was diagnosed with heart failure 4 years ago, I say to him every day, you are so healthy. You're going to live forever. We're going to be best friends forever. And guess what? It's been 4 years, and they gave him a couple months to live. And I also did a bunch of other stuff with his health and diet and things like that. But like, try this in your relationship. I always have this. My guy always goes above and beyond. My guy is so attentive to my emotional needs. My guy is so loving. Start saying that, and then give him the space to do it. Don't nag your poor guy. That's not what he needs. Honey gets more than vinegar. Remember that. My mom said that. My grandma taught her that. And it is so true. You can say things sweetly, and you can accomplish so much more in the world with love than you can with resentments and anger and frustration. So let me know if this is helping you and this applies to you at all. I want to hear if you're going through this right now, or maybe you're going to try this, and I want to know what your experiment yields. So let me know in the comments. Give us a like and a follow. The Freedom Podcast with Adriane Rose. We talk about wellness, healing, and living the most free, authentic versions of ourselves, having a purpose-filled, driven life where we can all rise up and evolve consciously and heal what can be healed. And then we can all just get together and do a little samba, baby. So cheers. God bless. Happy Friday, happy weekend, and I hope you guys are having the most beautiful day. Don't forget to share this video, send it to someone who you know would appreciate it and needs to hear this. God bless.